for your content to work best for your business, you need to be consistent. But as busy business owners, how are we supposed to be consistent when we have 10,000 things that we have to do to actually run our businesses? That's why this video, we're going to break down for you how you can batch like a boss so that you can not only show up regularly through your content creation, which is going to help magnify your marketing plan so that you can maximize the reach of your content, but also streamline the process so that you can create more effectively and in less time. Hi, my name is Desiree, and I'm here to help make your social media online marketing life easy. Now, before we get started, if you're looking for more of this kind of content, I would love to hit that subscribe button down below, which is going to help you get more information from this channel. It's going to allow for you to simplify everything that you are doing with your online marketing. Now, I want to make sure that you know we are not going to go over in this session today. We are not going to be going over like what you need to figure out to post. Like we're not gonna go like, what are the ideas, how to make it work, what should you be doing? If you really wanna like dive into that, I have another video that will be coming out soon that you can see in the cards once it is live. But also you can go grab my free content planning worksheet that I have for you down in the description below, which comes with a tutorial, which is gonna break down for you how to figure out what you should post and like how much you should post, where you should post it, and all that other stuff that goes along with it. Now, when we're talking about how to batch our content, we need to understand something very simply. We need to understand how we're going to use the flow chart that you see on screen to maximize our reach. By using one piece of master content, we're gonna be able to trickle down that content into all of these different places so that you can, again, work smart, not hard. Now we're talking about what kind of master content we should make. I'm gonna encourage you to do one of two kinds of content, both of which are long form videos. You can either pick a YouTube video, which is gonna be something just like this. It can be shorter or longer than what this video is, where you're going to be diving deep into a concept that is based on the content and the questions that your customers and your ideal clients are asking you already, that you can help them solve their problems. The reason you're watching this video is because you're trying to figure out how to maximize the reach of your content while spending as little time as possible doing it. So that is the problem I am solving today. You need to figure out what that is. Another option for you for a long form video content is going to be to do a video podcast. I love video podcasts because it's a great way for any business, whether you are a small local Mac company or like you are a big national brand. A podcast is a great way to have a conversation with your prospective customers so that you can connect and inform and educate them. What's really cool is you can add in extra things where you can interview people, you can talk about case studies, you can give examples, you can do lists. There's all kinds of things that you can do. The difference between these two pieces of content is that with a podcast, it's not going to be as polished or as highly edited. It's a conversation. It's you kind of rambling a little bit about what your expertise in and what you're good at. It might not be quite as organized or as structured, but it is you really relating to your customer through their problems, and they're willing to spend more time with you, whether it's through a video or an audio experience. With a YouTube video, it's much more polished, it's edited. As you can see on this video, we've had text on screen, we have B-roll, we have things that are happening. It's much more specific flow with an objective to get through the content kind of as quick as possible, but with as much structure and intention as possible, because we don't want to lose our audience from watching this video. So based on these two pieces of video content, we're then going to trickle down those videos into these other forms of content that we saw again on the flowchart. To break down what we see in our flowchart, and this is why the master content video is so important, these are all the different places that we're going to use this video. We're going to use this video as going to be the base of what our email is that we're going to send out to our list of prospects and current customers on a regular basis. I truly believe that for every week that you post your master content, you should send that video in an email to your customers, because you want to stay in contact with them and make sure they're continuing to be informed. At the very least, you can do this bi-monthly or once a month at the very minimum. But the point of your content is to have, again, a base of structure to stay in connection with your audience very easily. This way you don't have to come up with a new email every single time. Next, we're going to repurpose this content into a blog onto our website. Blogging is still one of the best things that anyone can do for their website. Having fresh, new, relevant content on your website is going to allow it to be fresh for all of the search engines, not just for Google, so that you show up at the top of those searches. And by having a video embedded in your blog, it's going to maximize the reach of that content as well. Next, we're going to want to take that video and we're going to want to turn it into social content. Now, what's really cool about a video that's long form is that you have lots of pieces of content you can break up into micro content for your social networks. So not only can you use this long form video and turn it into short form content, which is going to be vertical videos that we use for Reels or for TikTok that we can make like maybe less than 60 seconds to kind of share the little tidbits of what we have and give those micro doses of information. We also can use our long form video to create quotes and graphics and carousel posts that we can put on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so forth, so that we can continue to reuse this content in a very smart and effective way. On the flowchart, as you saw, there are some yellow bubbles that are there as well. Those yellow bubbles can act as sort of bonus content. If you have the time or the means or the team in place, I would encourage you to add those into your workflow as well. That's going to be where you're going to want to post your content to Pinterest. You've created a video, you've created social graphics, and you've created a blog post. All those pieces of content can be repurposed over to Pinterest so that you can create more backlinks and long form SEO for your social platforms and for your content so that it can maximize the reach and the retention of it. What's really great about having a long form video strategy is that it's going to keep working for you. It is evergreen. It's going to not just be relevant for like a week or for 2 weeks, but for a long period of time. And Pinterest can support that as well and is an incredibly powerful tool that most people are not using. You also can take your long form video and you can upload it natively to the platforms. You can upload it natively to platforms like Facebook. You can also to LinkedIn, but there is a time limit on LinkedIn that you do need to consider, but it's another place for you to share your content. Additionally, if you are really trying to maximize the reach, like maybe something you've created is going to be to support some sort of opt-in that you have on your website, or maybe you're trying to get ads, or maybe you're trying to target audience specifically to grow your audience and get you more leads into your business, you can use those vertical videos and those graphics for advertisements that you can use for like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so forth to maximize the reach of that content and get it in front of more of your potential target audience. So now we've talked about the one masterpiece of content that you're going to use is like the header for everything. It's going to be that pillar piece that you can distribute on down. Now we need to talk about how often you are going to create that content. Now, I'm not expecting you to be a YouTuber like where you're going to be creating a ton of content on a regular basis. You're going to continue to be sharing and promoting it. I want you to think about a schedule that you can very realistically commit to. If you can only commit to one video a month, then that is a realistic measurement for you to do that video content. At the very least, I want to encourage you to do 2 videos a month because that allows for you to break up your month into 2 parts and focus on promoting that one piece of content over the course of those 2 months. If you think about it, at the end of the year, you will have 24 videos that you're going to be able to have in a back catalog of content that's going to continuously answer your customers' questions and continue to bring you leads as an ongoing basis. Now, in my perfect YouTuber world, we do 1 video every single week, which results in 52 pieces of content at the end of the year. That's if you, again, have the right resources in place for you to make sure that this happens for you. If you are a solopreneur, stick to twice a month. If you have a team or you have a budget to have an agency like mine manage it for you, I would encourage you to do 1 every single week because then the team can do all of the extra heavy lifting to make sure that all the content is working for you. Next, we need to talk about a system. A system is going to be how we make all of this content happen. Now, what we talked about before, we have a specific number of pieces of content that we have to create, and there are going to be things that you have to do to support it. So for a masterpiece of content, of course, we have to make that long form video. But there's also things that we have to do to make sure that it is supported. One, we have to have a really effective description. We have to have the right keywords or tags that are associated with the video. We have to create a thumbnail that's going to be uploaded with that video, whether that is for a video podcast or for a YouTube video. You have to have a thumbnail on there that's going to drive that traffic so people know like, hey, this is what this video is about and how you should feel about it, because your title and your thumbnail are the most important parts of your YouTube video, honestly. And then we also have the other pieces of content that are going to be to support it. And this is going to be including writing the blog, writing the email. We're going to need to turn that video into graphics and into content, into messages. We're going to need to create the vertical videos that support that video and well as that message. When you kind of break down how many pieces of content you have to be, this can be somewhere in the range of like 11 to 20 pieces of content that you have to kind of create per master video. That's again why considering doing 2 videos a month or 1 every week when you have a team is going to be really helpful for you. By understanding the system, it's going to allow for you to understand, okay, I have this I have to make. Let me reverse engineer what publishing this channel looks like. So let me show you what this looks like. If my agency was managing for you, this is how our system would look. First and foremost, we have to have the content we're going to create. Now, rather than trying to record a video every single week, I'm going to encourage you to pick 1 day out of the month where you are going to record all the content for that month. Whether you're going to produce 2 videos a month or 1 video a week, I pick 1 day every month where you sit down and you record those videos. So this is where you're going to make sure that you have everything in place, like you have a quiet space, you've planned out what you're going to say, you know what your talking points are. If you want to make sure that you have the right presentation in place, like maybe your uniform is ready. In my case, it'd be something like my hair, my makeup is done. I have my uniform in place, which is the black shirt, and I have my set. I know that my office is going to be quiet. or I have my team there to help me make sure that all the recording is going to happen. So those are things that you want to take into account. Honestly, you probably want to account for a minimum of a half a day to get that work done. So whether you are needing to plan out the video and bullet point it out, which is like what I have all of my notes that are here on the video that I work through because I edit my videos. I'm not a fan of scripting because it can come across really cold and really stale, especially if you are not used to reading content for video, because it's a totally different thing. And you know your business and your industry and your information the best. So it's easy for you to talk about. You just need to kind of map out what it needs to happen in that video. And then again, you sit down in front of the camera and you just do the recording. Yes, you're gonna flub. Yes, you're gonna have bloopers. Yes, your phone is gonna ring or go off. That is okay for you to have happen around you. And that's why you can edit that content out. If you're doing a podcast, that's where you're gonna sit down and just have that conversation. Again, you can edit a podcast, or if you can time it right or do it really right or have all of the distractions turned off, it's gonna allow for you just to kind of get in there and get it done and make it happen. But pick one day to create all of that master content. Then you don't have to worry about like the performance part and the appearance part of the work that goes into that. Now, when we're trying to figure out like what you should be recording in, I'm definitely gonna encourage you to check out StreamYard. StreamYard is my go-to software that I use for all of my recording. I'm recording this YouTube video, I'm recording my podcast in it. I am using it for everything because it's one browser-based place where all of my content can live, which is really important for me, for my team. Not only am I able to have extra features that are in there, like having the bottom thirds in place, whether I'm gonna have interviews, I can add people in, I have my branded background. I'm also able to store everything up there, and I'm able to do a lot of the things that we're going to discuss as our next steps inside the StreamYard tool. So the next step in our process is going to be the editing phase. Now the editing phase is, when it comes to editing, it's really about what makes sense to you. Do you have an agency? Do you have a team member that's doing it? Are you just gonna go raw with what you have? Or you can use a service like VidPros, which is something that actually our agency uses because they're excellent at creating YouTube videos. Whatever that editing process looks like, you need to get your final video put together for publishing. Next is the creating phase. So once your video is done, edited and all that kind of stuff, then we have to go into creating some specific things. We need to create our thumbnail. We need to create our description. We need to create our clips. We need to create our graphics. Those are the things that we need to have in place for doing things. Now, what's great about StreamYard is that there's a feature built into StreamYard that allows for us to take our content and repurpose it. We can either repurpose it for clips. This is where we're taking like a long video, like a podcast, and we can turn them into maybe like 3 to 5 minute clips that we can use in other ways. Or we can repurpose them onto reels and shorts and other vertical videos where it's the vertical video for mobile for filling up that whole screen. And what's great about StreamYard is that it's gonna take those clips out for you and you can download them from there, or you can add a transcript and you can have the closed captions on it as well, which is a really handy feature because a lot of people prefer to watch vertical videos with closed captions on because a lot of people are either in a noisy place or they're watching in a way where they can't have the audio on, so they want to read what's happening in the video as well. StreamYard also has a transcript feature. So I'm gonna show you real quick here how you can download your transcript for your video in StreamYard and then take it to a tool like ChatGPT to really make things so much easier for you. As you can see, I am taking my transcript and I'm saying, hey, I want you to write a YouTube description for me and limit it to 2 paragraphs. And I'm going to just paste the transcript into ChatGPT and it's going to generate a 2-paragraph description that I can use on my YouTube video. I am then going to take that same exact transcript and say, hey, turn this into a blog post for me so that I can, again, streamline that process. We've already created our masterpiece of content. Let the tools that exist make it easier for you. And again, once you have that formatted blog, as you can see, it's doing like the title, it's doing the bolded headlines and the paragraphs. I can also then add in my YouTube video at the bottom when I publish it to my website. And then the last thing I'm going to use ChatGPT for is to help me create my graphics. I want to be able to be like, hey, ChatGPT, using this transcript, I want you to find me some quote graphics that we can use. Now, you want to be really specific. And the first time I did this pass with the transcript, I asked it to give it to me and it gave me kind of wordier quotes from it that I could use in the caption of my post. But what I needed were actually short little text quotes that I could put in onto a graphic that would stop people like when they're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. And so I asked it specifically to give me quotes that are like 8 to 10 words in length, and it gave me actually quite a few varieties that I can use, that I can reference for future posts. So when we're creating our content, we can use the transcript that StreamYard has given us and turn it into another piece of content using ChatGPT, which is a free tool that you can use that will do all of this for you. And again, we're trying to use our tools smart so we can just, honestly, when I did this, it took me 5 minutes to put all of this together. But as you saw, it was just like fast forwarded. So it just makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker for you. So again, creating smart, not hard. Create once and then let all the other systems work it for you. Now, the other part of creating, besides like getting all of our text in place, is we also have to do some graphic work. Again, we have StreamYard to help us with repurposing our content, but we do have to create graphics. Now, you can use a tool like Adobe Express where you can just use their existing templates and things that they have in place that you can take those quotes that you got from ChatGPT and turn them into shareable graphics. You can make them whatever platform you want. I highly encourage you just to keep it easy and make Instagram squares so that you can easily just put them in. They can easily publish to all the different platforms without any problem or having to do it. But you also can reform them horizontal if you want to do the like taller like profile portrait photo. It's not like the full screen of the phone, but it's like 1080 by 1320, I believe is what it is. It's just a little bit taller. Again, square is just the easiest way for you to do it, but it really is about what makes sense to you. So now we have created everything that we have that we need. We have our blog, we have our description, we have our thumbnails, we have our social posts, we have our messages, we have all the things that we needed to create. And when we're talking about the schedule of doing that, just like we had a day where we sat down and we recorded, set aside a specific day and time where you get all of that done, and it should only take you a couple of hours, even if you are working kind of slow. The next thing that you're going to need to do to help kind of complete all of this stuff is you need to schedule it out. So this is where you're gonna take all of that finalized content, all of those descriptions, all those blogs, all those words, all those emails, all those captions, all those graphics that you made, and schedule them to publish at a specific time and day. So based on that schedule that you created at the beginning of our talk, where we're like, hey, how much can you reasonably do? And like, when would you want to publish this? Now we want to schedule that content. Okay, and what's great is all of the platforms, YouTube, blogging, your website, social platforms, they all have a scheduling feature. So you can just put them up and get them in there and schedule them when you want them to post. Now, if you're doing a video twice a month, you want to schedule it accordingly. That's why I would post that master content and then promote it across the platforms over the next couple of days. I would then follow it up by saying, okay, now I'm sending an email to my list that's going to have the videos that are in there. I'm going to spread out that social content over the course of maybe like every 3 days over the course of 2 weeks, really promoting what's going on. I can share the blog, I can share the social posts, I can share the video link, I can share all of those different pieces of content, and I can make sure that they're distributed across time so that those can continue to get attention. Then I can do it again for the next video that is releasing for that month. So scheduling it all out at one time, not like one day, but like having, again, we create it all in one day, we record a video all in one day, let's schedule all at one specific day and time. That way we know it's all going to work. Doing all this sporadically and haphazardly and unintentionally is going to make you miss things and keep you off your game. It's gonna actually cost you more time and could cost you leads in the long run. So again, make sure you refer to the flowchart for where you're going to post things, clump things together. So you have like a recording day, a creating day, and a scheduling day, and make sure that it all works for you so that you can maximize what you're doing, because the objective of this is to batch your content to maximize your reach and minimize your time spent doing it. Think of things in month chunks to simplify your process. Now, I did a great video where I talked about the difference between podcasting and blogging and why you should be doing one over the other. Once you watch that video right here, where it's going to map that out for you specifically.